right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call Haloyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakal Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book of the Bible. All right? So let's get into it, man. I got this video on here that you see on screen. I have it paused, but I'm about to play it in a second. All right. And I'm also going to go into the Aaron Russo interview. All right. You know, Aaron Russo being interviewed by Alex Jones. And I've done lessons on that that interview before, but I'm going to go into it again. All right. Because the prophecy of the mark of the beast, all right, has to constantly be taught and be pushed out there, man. That's what a true prophet does. A true prophet and a true servant of the Lord does. All right. They warn the people. All right. Because that's one of the most major, all right, and most important prophecies in the scriptures, man. And the people have to be warned. All right. The prophecy of the mark of the beast. All right. The mark of the beast being the RFID microchip. All right. That is for certain and for sure. All right, what the mark of the beast is. All right, the RFID microchip. All right, and we have to prophesy and warn you and tell you about it. That's what the mark of the beast is. All right, so when it's made mandatory, all right, by the punishment, under the punishment of death, all right, when it's ushered in and made mandatory, all right, you gonna know that's the mark of the beast right there, because we told you, right? And you gonna know to stay away from it. All right, because you are not to take the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip. All right, and if you do, you're going to be swallowed and engulfed, all right, in nuclear destruction. All right, you can read about that in Revelation, the 14th chapter, the 9th verse. Starting from the 9th verse. If you take that mark, you're going to burn in fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, Yahweh Shai, the Messiah. So the angels and Yahweh Shai, when they return, they just going to watch you burn in nuclear destruction. They just going to watch you burn in that lake of fire. All right? It's going to be Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai that's going to bring that destruction upon you if you take the mark of the beast, being the RFID microchip. You understand? All right, the false prophets, all right, the false prophets will tell you that the mark of the beast is not the RFID microchip. They will tell you that the mark of the beast is a spiritual thing and not an actual physical thing. No, the mark of the beast is an actual physical thing that the elites want to implant under your skin. The digital chocolate chip that the elites want to implant under your skin. All right, so we're going to get into the Aaron Russo interview. Like I said, he was Aaron Russo being a movie director, you know, and he died a couple years after the interview, man. He was being interviewed by Alex Jones, and you should know who Alex Jones is, right? And Aaron Russo was telling Alex Jones everything that Nick Rockefeller had told him, man. All right, so we're going to watch this video we see right here on screen, and then we're going to get into the Aaron Russo interview. All right? And, you know, the prophets of the Lord, you know, they're shepherds looking over the flock, man. All right, the flock being the elect. All right, we're warning the elect, all right, to not take the MOTB, the mark of the beast being the RFID microchip, man. It is so easy to see, all right, that the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip, the digital chocolate chip that the elites want to implant under your skin. All right, digital IDs are being spoken about every single day. All right, we actually break down the scriptures going into the Greek, the etymology of words, you know, breaking down the word mark, going into the word charagma, going into the word charax and grapho and stigma, the word character, right? We've been breaking it down. All right, but let me play this video for you.
Big Pharma just created a smart pill, and it's going to change how we take medicine forever. The FDA just granted the first approval for this brand new way of digital medicine. It's not a normal pill. It's what's called a drug-device combination. Inside every single tablet, there's a tiny sensor that sends a signal to a wearable patch on your body. That patch then sends a signal to a smartphone app, which sends all of your data back.
And that's how the RFID microchip is going to be, man. All right, it all sends signals and information back to what's known as a supercomputer, one giant computer, man, a master computer. All right,
back into the system. They're telling you it's a massive breakthrough for patient care, but what is it actually for? Let's take a look.
Yeah, that's the guys they go with. You know, oh, it's a massive breakthrough for Medicare and, you know, the medical industry, and yeah, all right, man. All right, you know, but we all know, we really know what's going on and what's happening, man. All right, the elect of the nation of Israel, the elect of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we see through the madness. We know what's happening, what's going on, man. We're not living under a rock. We know what's happening, what's going on. We're not deceived. We know that there's an agenda taking place. We know prophecy and what's going on, what's happening. We know who Esau is. We know that y'all the devil, man. The scriptures say, if it be possible, if it be at all possible, they shall deceive the very elect, but it's not possible. That's why the elect is the elect, the chosen, the ones that were deemed and predestined to be saved, beamed up into the chariots to escape the nuclear fire, the nuclear destruction. All right, that's why they're the elect, because they're not deceived, all right, by these vain philosophies, all right, these false religions and wickedness that's out here. All right, the scriptures also say that we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. All right, that RFID microchip is one of Satan's devices. This scamdemic, pandemic that happened in 2020, that was one of Satan's devices. You know, the yo jabba jabba, the juicy juice that they was trying to hit you with. The Maxine Nightingale they was trying to hit you with during that scamdemic. That was one of Satan's devices. We are not ignorant of Satan's devices. We know what's happening, what's going on. We see through the bullshit, the madness. All right?
It back into the system. They're telling you it's a massive breakthrough for patient care, but what is it actually for? Let's take a look at what the CEO of Pfizer has to say.
FDA approved the first.
Look, yeah, you got the CEO of Pfizer, right, sitting on the stage of the World Economic Forum stage, which is a stage of global elitists, man. All right, and their plans to enslave the world. And you niggas, you simple ass niggas lined up for a Pfizer jab. You lined up for death juice. Simple as hell. It goes to show you have no idea what is happening, what's going. If you took the Maxine Nightingale, you have absolutely no idea what is happening, what is going on. You're nothing but a brain dead sheep, a brain dead slave, a zombie that is beyond gone. You're simple and you're stupid as hell, and you lack very great wisdom and knowledge.
Electronic pill, if I can call it like that. It is basically biological chip that it is in the tablet, and once you take the tablet and dissolves into your stomach, sends a signal that you took the tablet. So imagine.
Let me rewind that again.
CEO of Pfizer has to say.
FDA approved the first electronic pill, if I can call it like that. It is basically biological chip that it is in the tablet, and once you take the tablet and dissolves into your stomach, sends a signal that you took the tablet. So imagine the applications of that. Compliance.
With the Great Reset and the push for total elite control, you have to ask yourself, is this really about helping you remember to take your pills? Or is it something about having full control over you? We're entering a time where...
That's exactly what it is. It's about having full control, because that's the elites. That's the agenda of the elites, to bring forth the new world order. All right? And to have complete control over everyone on this earth. That's the plan of the elites, all right, through their technology, which is the RFID microchip. All right, and Aaron Russo even lets you know that, man. Coming straight from Nick Rockefeller, man. You know?
You have to ask yourself, is this really about helping you remember to take your pills? Or is it something about having full control over you? We're entering a time where biometric compliance is being normalized and the elites are gaining the ability to track your every move.
Yeah, because it's all like the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord, the Israelites of great millstone, and the ones that teach in like manner, prophesying for years and years and years and years and years and years and years, letting you know what the mark of the beast is, man. Before before it's been you know, because now everybody is seeing it, man. You know, but before it's been widely known, the prophet's been out here warning you, man, and now it's finally coming to pass. Like the scriptures say, then shall they know. This is Ezekiel 33 and 33. And then shall they know a prophet has been among them. We've been prophesying the scriptures, man. Breaking down and prophesying the scriptures to you the right and correct way. All right, starting with the Israelites of great millstone and ones that teach in like manner. Because these other Israelite groups like IUIC and ISUPK, HOI and WFI and AOC, GOCC, they're not prophesying and telling you what the mark of the beast is, man. They don't push it out like that. First of all, they're not teaching you the truth about the mark of the beast. They're false prophets. They're not telling you the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. They're telling you that it's a spiritual thing. They're telling you that it's sin or a spiritual thing. You know? And they don't even preach it or push it like that, man. They're not constantly warning you, man.
They will have a full record of exactly what is in your body at all times, and when this eventually ties into digital IDs, and you...
Yeah, see? It's all going to eventually tie into digital IDs. This is all the lead up to the mark of the beast being ushered out and made mandatory under the punishment of death. Because if you don't take it, they're going to behead you. All right? That prophecy is in the book of Revelations. All right? That's the vision that Apostle Paul seen. I mean, not Apostle Paul, Apostle John, also known as John the Revelator, in the book of Revelations. He's seen the visions of the men of the Lord being beheaded for not taking the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip. All right? But the prophets of the Lord that are going to be beheaded, they're going to be proud to be beheaded. It's going to be an honor to die for Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. That's an automatic crown. Does it not say in Revelations 2? Let's grab it. All right. Let's grab it. Revelation 2 and 10. What did Yahweh Shai say? Be faithful unto death, and I shall give thee a crown of life. All right. And the scriptures also say they love not their lives unto death. Yeah, fuck this life. Because we got a better life, a better world to come, the kingdom of heaven. That's an automatic crown. Dying for the name, the word, the testimony of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. You know, Lord willing, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Ratazah, you know, the Heavenly Father, you know, puts that spirit upon me, man. To say, F it, man. Take my damn head off, man. I'd rather get beheaded than to burn and get scorched with intense heat by this nuclear destruction. Take my damn head off, man. You know? Take my damn head off. That's going to be an easy and quick death, man. You know, and the Lord just might make it to where, listen, you know, the Lord, because the Lord knows everything. He knows our mind, our thoughts. He knows the amount of faith we have. So depending on your faith, you know, the Lord just might make it to where, listen, you might not even feel it. The Lord will allow it to where it won't even hurt, or the Lord might allow it where you won't even feel it, man. You know? Or the Lord just might make it to where it don't even cut your neck. It's going to fall upon your neck and the blade going to break, man. That's the power of the Lord. Your skin going to suddenly turn into a stone and rock, where the blade just going to break on your neck. Spiritual powers. All right? Because men are going to receive spiritual powers in these last days. All right? And that's how the elect is going to be reeled in also. Because they going to see men with spiritual powers, man. You know, putting people to flight in these last days. These martial law troops being put to flight. Men, women, and children being healed before their eyes. So you ain't gonna have nothing else to do but to believe. You ain't gonna have no other choice but to believe that these are prophets and men of the Lord, of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. You're gonna see a man with his arm off. His whole entire arm got ripped off. A man gonna give the Lord gonna give a man a spiritual power to put that man's arm back on, or to create a new arm out of nowhere. You know, and you gonna see it. The elect gonna see it, be like, yo, they gonna bug out and be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Someone's leg gets chopped off. Now all of a sudden it got reconnected. You gonna see that in these last days, man. You gonna see people running like sparks among the stubble, man. Like the scriptures say. You know? But anyway, let's read this. Revelation 2:9. All right. Verse 10, it says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer." Here, we're not supposed to fear Esau, Edom, right? We're not supposed to fear the one that can destroy your flesh. But we're supposed to fear the ones that can destroy our flesh and our spirit, which is the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. Right? So it says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer." Yeah, because you know when this martial law pops off, and when Esau Edom pops off, and he comes down upon us with these draconian laws, all right, comes down upon us like madmen sparing none, right? He gonna come down on us on some bro, like on in a way that your mind can't even fathom. But the Lord said, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer," because a lot of us are gonna get, they're gonna try to torture us, throw us in concentration camps, right? These FEMA camps and all that, these throwing us in chicken coops and prisons, right? Because we're gonna be tempted, man. We're gonna be tried. It's really Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai trying us, right? "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer." All right. "Behold, the devil," which is Esau Edom, the so-called white man, starting with the elites, right? "Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison." Yeah, because when this mark of the beast is made mandatory, all right, because we haven't took it, they're going to throw us in prison and torture us to try to make us take it, right? Throw us in these concentration camps, these holding cells, and you know, "The devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." You see? That's a powerful, powerful scripture. Those are the words of Yahweh Shai. And we are to take heed of what Yahweh Shai said, man. We are to have very great faith, exceedingly great faith in the words of Yahweh Shai. What did the Heavenly Father say? All right. What did Yahweh say? Right? During the time of the transfiguration of Yahweh Shai. Right? When he transfigured himself into the image of Elijah and Moses. Right? What did Yahweh, all right, say from the chariot that was hovering over them, man? This is my beloved son in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. So we are to have very great faith and trust in the words of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai said, I will be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Yeah, because like I mentioned, Apostle John seen the vision of the men of the Lord that were not taking the mark of the beast. They were being, beheaded. All right, verse 11. Verse 11, he that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. Woo. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. Yeah, if you die, if you get beheaded instead of taking the mark of the beast, you're not going to be hurt of the second death, which is the nuclear destruction. All right, you're not going to burn in that lake of fire, right? So let me get Revelation. It's the 14th chapter, right? So it says, is it the 14th chapter? It might be the 20th chapter. Let me skip to the 20th chapter real quick. Yeah, all right. So this is Revelation, the 20th chapter. And I'll just get straight to it. Verse 4. This is Apostle John when he was on the island of Patmos. He seen the vision of the men of the Lord in these last days being beheaded for not taking the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. All right. Revelation 20 and 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, and for the word of the Most High Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. Yeah, so he's seen the ones, all right, the souls of the men being beheaded that did not receive the mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, the mark of the beast. And they lived and reigned with Yahweh Shai 1,000 years. All right, so he's seen the men of the Lord that have prophesied, the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord. He's seen the men of the Lord that prophesied. All right, the ones that had the word of the Most High Yahweh. All right, those that were witnesses of Yahweh Shai, preaching his word, this prophecy. All right. He saw them being beheaded for not taking the mark. Let's read that again. It says, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, and for the word of the Most High Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, all right, which represents the New World Order, right? Neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Yahweh Shai 1,000 years, which goes into the first dominion, which goes into the 1,000 years the nations are going to be our slaves. All right. So he saw the souls of the men that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and for the testimony of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right. And they didn't take, it says right here, neither had received his mark, the mark of the beast, upon their foreheads or in their hands. You see? But going back to what we read before, Revelation 2:10. All right. The latter end of the verse. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. That's an automatic crown in the kingdom of heaven. That's automatic rulership and reign with Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right. That's automatic reign with Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. You know, Yahweh Shai allowing Yahweh Shai, you know, to share his throne with the elect, to share his rulership upon this earth. We're going to rule with our Lord and Savior, man. That's crazy. We're going to rule with our Lord. We're going to be allowed to rule this planet earth with Yahweh, with Yahweh Shai. This is all the plan of Yahweh, man. All right. Did not Yahweh Shai say, it is the Lord's good pleasure to give you the kingdom? This is what the Lord wants. You know? So let's get back into this video. And then we still got to get into the Aaron Russo interview, right?
Set and the push for total elite control, you have to ask yourself, is this really about helping you remember to take your pills? Or is it something about having full control over you?
That's exactly what it is. It's about, that's what the elites want. That's their agenda, the New World Order agenda, to have complete control over this entire earth through their technology, which is the RFID microchip, which is known as the mark of the beast in the Bible. And even Aaron Russo goes into that in the interview, and we're going to get it. You know? He's letting us know that this is he's letting us, because he had a conversation with Nick Rockefeller, which the Rockefellers are one of the elite banker families, the satanic Illuminati elite Jewish banking families, the Rockefellers. And Nick Rockefeller told him that, you know, listen, we want everybody chipped. And we've been, listen, man, the true prophets of the Lord been telling you that's what the mark of the beast is, man. You know? Been warning you and telling you that's what the mark of the beast is, and that's what the elites want. They're gonna eventually bring it forth. Everything you see now is gradualism. Everything that's going to lead up to it. You understand?
Entering a time where biometric compliance is being normalized and the elites are gaining the ability to track your every move. They will have a full record of exactly what is in your body at all times, and when this eventually ties into digital IDs and you don't comply, they will be able to freeze your access to society.
Yep, and that's, Aaron Russo said the exact same thing. He said they have complete control over you, man. Because now, you know, if you're in debt, you got certain debts, right? You know, you don't pay him. You ain't got to pay him like that, right? But if you got certain debt, they could just pull that money out of your chip, man. Having complete control over you. Take that money right out your chip, man. Because they got control over the chip. All that reports back to a supercomputer. You know? You know, so all your debts will be paid off. You know?
Your ability to buy food or even shut off your digital into digital IDs and you don't comply, they will be able to freeze your access to society, block your ability.
Yup, they freeze your access to society, because if you want to be part of society, you're going to have to take that microchip. Right? If you want to buy food, travel, drive a car, go to the gym, you know, do whatever you want, you're going to need that RFID microchip. They're going to make you use it for everything, man. Complete control. It's also going to be a GPS unto them. They're going to know your exact whereabouts. Oh, he's on this corner of the street. Oh, he's over here. You know? They could run up on you and look for you. You know what I'm saying? All right?
IDs and you don't comply, they will be able to freeze your access to society, block your ability to buy food, or even shut off your digital wallet altogether.
Yep, that's, bro. We gonna get into this interview. Hold on.
This is one of the reasons I decided to open my own YouTube channel and go deeper into topics just like this.
All right, so now let's get this Aaron Russo interview. I think I still have it up, right? Right here. All right, so this man you see on screen right here, all right, his name is Aaron Russo. All right, he was a movie director, right? And right now he's being interviewed. In this video, he's being interviewed by Alex Jones, and he's telling Alex Jones everything that Nick Rockefeller told him, which the Rockefeller family is one of the satanic Illuminati elite Jewish banking families. All right, so let me play this video real quick, and we gonna get into it.
We became friends. We started talking about things. And,
yeah, he's talking about Nick Rockefeller. He said him and Nick Rockefeller became friends, and they started talking about things. Right? Let's rewind that again. All right.
When I was running for governor in Nevada, he came to me, introduced himself to me through an attorney, and we became friends. We started talking about things, and I learned an awful lot from Mr. Rockefeller. And one of the things that we used to talk about was the ultimate plan of the banking industry, what they wanted to accomplish. And the goals of the banking industry, not just the Federal Reserve System, but the private banks in Germany and England, all over Italy, all over the world, they all work together. They're all central banks, and they're all part of the Communist Manifesto. You know, central banking is one of the major planks of the Communist Manifesto. We talk about America being a capitalistic country, but yet at the same time we have a central bank that plans everything for us, right? And the graduated income tax is another plank of the Communist Manifesto, right? So right there you have two major planks of the Communist Manifesto that have been brought in because of the Federal Reserve System, okay? So the ultimate goal that these people have in mind is the goal to create a one world government run by the banking industry, run by the bankers, and they're doing it in sections. The European currency, the euro, and the European Constitution is one part of it. Now they're trying to do it in America with the North American Union, right? And they want to create a new currency called the Amero, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips.
Boom, you see it? And this is coming from Nick Rockefeller himself, man. All right? This is the plan of the elites. All right? And it's going to bring forth prophecy. That's the mark of the beast. All right? That's the mark of the beast, the RFID. He said the ultimate goal of the elites is to have everyone chipped. Complete control. We've been telling y'all, man, that's what the mark of the beast is. And you can see that when you go back, when you go into the Greek, the word, when you break down the words, when we break down the scriptures, man. We break down the scriptures the correct way. Always going into the word mark, charagma, charax, grapho, stigma. Breaking down the words, not just reading over it and telling you what it means. We're actually proving it to you. Going into the definition of words, etymology of words. Going into the original texts and languages. You know? Come on, man. I rewound it 20 seconds. Let's go it again.
Right, and I want to create a new currency called the Amero, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, where everybody has created a new currency called the Amero, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in.
The whole agenda, meaning the whole point, is to have everyone with the RFID microchip. That's the whole point of the New World Order, to enslave everyone through the technology, man. Through the elites of the technology of the elites, which is the RFID microchip, known as the mark of the beast in the Bible. All right. You think these Christian pastors in these churches are telling their congregationists, the people that attend church on Sunday, All right? We are the true prophets of the Lord, man. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Raptazah, I am of the elect. We are teaching the 100% truth. The Israelites of great millstone. And the ones that teach in like manner. All right? The other Israelite camps that teach the same like doctrine of great millstone. GMS. All right?
Them, all money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control.
Total control. That's the whole point. To enslave everyone. See, if you take that mark of the beast, if you take the chip, you ain't nothing but Esau Edom's bitch. You ain't nothing but Satan's bitch. We serve Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah.
If you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip. And you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records.
Yup, exactly. Yup. It's connected to a database, a supercomputer. All information is going to report back to a supercomputer. One giant supercomputer. Everyone who takes the mark of the beast, the chip, they're all going to be connected to that one supercomputer. All right?
You do
everything is in there, you know? And so they want
your money, your bank account's going to be on that chip, right? Your medical records going to be on that chip, your ID, who you are, all the jobs you ever worked, the current job you're working, how much you get paid. Right? Everything, bro. You know? You're going to know how much you're going to get paid. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're going to know where you've been, what you have done, what you have bought or sold.
one world government controlled by them, everybody being chipped, all your money in those chips, and they control the chips and they control people, and you become a slave, you become a serf to these people. That's their goal, that's their intentions.
Eric, can you be specific about when you met Rockefeller, how it happened in these discussions?
I met Rockefeller through a female attorney I knew who called me up one day and said, one of the Rockefellers would like to meet you. I had made a video called Mad as Hell, and he'd seen the video and wanted to meet me and knew I was running for governor of Nevada. So sure, I'd love to meet him. And I met him and I liked him, and he was a very, very smart man. And
you know what's funny? Yo, because all these movies that you see in Hollywood, right? All these directors and movie writers, all right, in Hollywood, right? They all have connects, with the elite bankers, and that's why they make the certain movies that come out in theaters or in Hollywood, right? Because a lot of these movies have truth in them, man. You always gotta watch, these movies with a spiritual eye, right? I'm talking about the men of the Lord, all right? The men of the Lord that know this truth, right? In this word, that has this wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. You gotta watch these videos with the spirit and knowledge of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Because then you'll be able to, bro, a lot, because these people in these directors, these Hollywood writers and You know, these people that sit in high places. You know, Hollywood is a satanic industry, man. There's nothing but pedophiles, right? And Satanists in the Hollywood industry. That's all they do is satanic rituals. These celebrities, movie stars. You know? You know, and they be putting truth in these movies, man. You know? Like you said, you know, he became friends with Nick Rock. All these movie writers and directors, man, a lot of them are friends with the elites, man. And that's why they create certain movies like Civil War and World of the War, War of the Worlds and stuff like that, man. And many other movies, Planet of the Apes. You know, the apes were supposed to represent the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, because what did the apes end up doing? Putting Esau, Edom into slavery. Because that's what's going to happen when Yahweh Shai comes back. It's going to be a role reversal. We're going to put Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, into slavery, just like he had us in slavery and still has us in slavery till this day. Under contracts. Like your license and your passport and your birth certificate. These are all contracts that makes us slaves. All right? Being in debt makes you a slave. You know?
To talk and share ideas and thoughts. And he's the one who told me 11 months before 9/11 ever happened that there was going to be an event. Tell me what that was going to be.
That goes to show you that the elite. Look, he's saying that he's saying that Nick Rockefeller told him 11 months before 9/11 happened that it was going to happen, that there was going to be a major event. All right, the 9/11 was created by the elite bankers. All right, so they could create war. Because after what happened after 9/11, you had the so-called quote unquote war on terrorism, right? Because there's money in war. That's what the elites do. All wars are bankers' wars. They create these wars to create money, man. And that's also Esau Edom's blessing. That was the blessing that was given to Esau Edom. The blessing that Esau Edom, the blessing that Esau received from his father Isaac. All right, the blessing was to rule with the sword. That his blessing will be the sword, meaning to rule in destruction and chaos and in war, to bring hell upon this earth. And that's exactly what the elites do. That's what the Edomites do, starting with the elite bankers. That was the blessing, that they will have fatness of the earth, meaning they will rule this earth and have everything they ever wish for, starting with the elites, and they will rule with destruction. They will rule with the sword. That's why they create all these wars and bring hell and chaos upon this earth in many ways. Through war, you know, destroying this earth with chemtrails, putting all types of chemicals in the air, the water, the food, disrupting your brains and destroying your brains with these 5Gs, 6Gs, you know? That's the blessing of Esau Edom, to rule with destruction, to rule with sword, to rule with technical warfare, biological warfare. Man, let's keep going. Let's rewind a little bit and I'll end the video.
11 months before 9/11 ever happened, that there was going to be an event. Never told me what the event was going to be, but there was going to be an event, and out of that event, we were going to invade Afghanistan,
And that's exactly what they did. Right? They went over there to the Middle East. What was it? War on Terrorism it was called, right?
Pipelines from the Caspian Sea. We were going to invade Iraq, to take over the oil fields, establish a base in the Middle East, and make it all part of the New World Order. And we go after Chavez in Venezuela. And sure enough, later 9/11 happened, and I remember he was telling me how.
What are they doing right now? Didn't they just not capture Maduro in Venezuela? Come on, man.
How you're gonna see soldiers looking in caves for people in Afghanistan and Pakistan and all these places, and there's gonna be this war on terror, of which there's no real enemy, and the whole thing is a giant hoax, but it's a way for the government to take over the American people.
He told you it was going to be a hoax.
Oh yeah, there's no question. He says there's gonna be war on terror.
See, you gotta understand. You oh my God, bro. See, we know all this. We know all this, being servants and prophets of the Lord, being men of the Lord, having the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. But the rest of the people, they just gone. They don't even know this, man. They don't know what's going on. They don't know that the whole world is a stage for the elites, man. Everything is staged and controlled and fake as hell, man. You people don't know what's going on, especially you stupid ass Christians, man. That believe and preach a false word, man.
Fighting. I mean, why do you think 9/11 happened and then nothing's happened since then? Do you think that our security is so great here that these people who put off 9/11 can't knock down another plane?
Let me stop the video right here. The reason why you hear it skipping, the volume skipping, is because my phone is dying. All right, so the power of the phone is getting weak. But Lord willing, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, this lesson is and was edifying, man. Call Haloyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakar Quitash. All right, so on to the next one. Shalom, shalom.